But anyways, we've got Data down here in the bottom right up against OhneNiveau. I don't even know. I just call him Ohne. Up here in the top left, ZVZ. It's game number 2. Game number 1 was actually pretty interesting. Was not what I expected, particularly when they both opened up with speed Zerglings and did nothing with them. But they just kind of went into a late, well, I'm not going to touch each other for a while game, and it is going to be this. Now, we saw this in one of the other games, and it worked out for Ohne. Data, on the other hand, we didn't get to see his range of play against Zerg players, so I'm interested to see what he is going to bring to the table here, how he's going to deal with this. I see him as a much more macro-oriented player. Let's see if that's going to be the case here, if he's going to go for a hatch first. It would surprise me if he did, because I almost never open up hatch first against Zerg players. It's actually going to be a 15 hatch? No, it will be a 15 pool. Alright. I like myself a 14 pool, 15 hatch, personally. But that's just because it's too often you'll run into people that do this, get that 9 pool down, and go for high pressure. Good timing of this. Once again, we saw him do this before. But it didn't really... He played against somebody that was randoming Zerg and played very poorly against it. But he still won the game. So we'll see if this is going to be able to give him a little bit of a different feel to it. This should be scouted fairly soon. We're actually going to look at the vision of Data for a second. And I want to see how he reacts to this. There's the red on the minimap. There's the 6 slings. Don't cancel yet. Okay, good. When we saw this last time, what ended up happening was he didn't let the hatch build longer. I like letting the hatch build longer because what it means is that the Zerglings are more delayed. He cancels it as well. Very surprising for me. I would have rather... And that's also a bad spot for that spine. Like, don't start it there. It's going to get killed immediately. 4lings out. You're going to have to pull the drones, buddy. He doesn't, and he ends up losing most of his Zerglings pretty cheap. More Zerglings here now, but Spine started a bit of a better position this time. A couple of Zerglings are done. I think this is going to be an easy hold here for Data. Yep, I would have to think so. And behind this, Ohne is actually joining up now. He's given up this play. He has denied the expansion, but if we look at the units tab, he's down by 6 workers right now. Oh, now he's making more Zerglings again. This is really strange. I don't agree with this at all, because he already skipped a bunch of Zerglings to get out more drones, and now more drones again. Very strange. Spine crawler repositioning. This will be fine. I'd be back to droning up right now if I was Data, but the difference is he might be able to get an overwhelming amount of Zerglings out and then just go crush. Gas is done. You should take that soon. Speed is a huge difference maker in this game. He is taking gas over here, so he'll probably go for his Baneling Nest follow-up again. Queen is actually at the front here. He's going to try to get a few more hits in. I don't like this. Yeah, you don't want that queen to get lost. He's got 2 queens out, yes. So many Zerglings. Another queen on the way as well. I like that. More queens, always helpful. Drone count. The green Zerg players actually heading drones now. Very surprisingly. Because Data has been continuing to make Zerglings. Now this could be really bad here. If the Baneling Nest gets down. Oh no. The Baneling Nest gets down and he can get good trades. He will do amazing. Still more Zerglings coming across, so I'd be very, very careful if I was Data. He's going to try to expand behind more Zerglings, but the Baneling Nest is done now. So he's got to start morphing some in. There we go. And this is not in vision for our orange Zerg player. Maybe it is. Well, maybe he saw more and more units coming. Speed has started here. If Data can hold on, look at the supply is huge. If he can hold on against these Banelings, which will be really tough because his speed is not done yet, he should be fine. He's got to make sure not to lose these Overlords. More Banelings. Oh, come on. One time. One time. Give it to me one time. Not the best. There's some better Baneling hits. Where's all the rest of the units? Oh man, he's getting turned back. He's ahead so much in supply right now, but these overlords. Oh, he might be able to bait them out. This is where you want more lings coming in. You can get these queens now. With the banelings, you should be able to get... If you can get both these queens, you should win this game. Great baneling hits. Once again, these are slow lings, though, against what will soon be speedlings. He's going to get both queens here. Now, there is a spine still in the base, and speed is about to finish. But units-wise, a big drone lead for our green Zerg player. And less tech. A run-by might work. But I think he's done this. I think Ohne has done it. Just with having great baneling hits. I think he's pulled it off. This is going to be tough with the spine, though. I would actually just use these, just block your opponent in, and use these to transition into a later stage of the game. Now he's in trouble, though. Now he's in a lot of trouble. Speed is done, and there's baneling tech. There's no spine here, and only one queen. This is going to be a tough hold. And he's droning up right now. And these lings are still slow. Oh, he's got banelings at home. I think he should be able to survive. As long as he uses these banelings well. Couple of banelings here. And Data is going to go all-in counter on this here. Woo. Good pullback. Nice trade. That one was really smart. This is the salty. Oh, nice trigger. He takes out 2 banelings for free. This could be it. This could be what he needs here. Once again, only 1 queen, no spines, 3 banelings. It'll be really tough to fight. Oh, triggers 1. Oh, is he gonna drone line it? Oh, there's the 2 done. I would have taken those 2 right into the drone line. More Zerglings heading across the map. Once again, there's a big worker lead and there's a hatch lead for our green Zerg player. Double queens are finished. Oh, he didn't... One of those spines got cancelled there. The queen was in the way. Nice trigger on 1 baneling. He's going to try it again. Doesn't quite get it. This is really tough. I'm interested that Data is deciding to all-in counter this. Pay attention. We only lost 4. That wasn't too bad, but still not desirable. I love doing this as well. Detonate. Oh, that's GG right there. That was his last chance. Interesting win. And that ties up the series. Man. That was nail biting. That was a really, really good game there. Just the back and forth of it. And I thought certainly that Data was going to have that saved. He had the economy lead, had all those queens out the spine. He had speed on the way, bad trades, and lost it all. Lost all of his queens. Vice versa, I thought that once all those went in, and then Data had speed and banelings went across the map, he'd be able to kill him. But close hold finishes it off. Full action. That's what I expected to see from most of these games. Oh, excuse me. Really, really interesting. That was a cool game. So we'll just be waiting for game number 3. Coffee. Yes. Yes. Oh, I think you may have had to disconnect for a second there. Not a big deal. Where are we going now? Cloud Kingdom. Only Metalopolis, guys. And we might get there. Now the series is tied up. It's 1-1. I'll see who's gonna do it here. It shows me that Data is completely confident in his late game play and his ability to be able to out macro his opponent. Ohne, on the other hand, here with his 9, he's won twice now with his 9 pool. I'll be interested to see what he does on this. This is a much longer rush map than Ohne, and I think that's why it was chosen here by Data, who's down here in the bottom left against Ohne in the top right. This was one of my favorite ZVT maps. I loved playing as either Zerg or Terran on this. This map was so much fun. I'm really glad this one came back in. And we'll see if Ohne's going to try something aggressive again. Such an interesting style. The speedless 9 pool into delayed gas, which is essentially a 2 drone only gas, just for banelings. Go pressure with your Zerglings, force them to get out a ton of Zerglings and skip their gas. Then use the banelings to go in there and clean up a ton of slowlings. Interesting style. I might actually steal it. I was really opposed to it when I first saw it, but now that I've seen it a couple times work, and I think that with a little bit of better control, I think it will be able to be a really successful kind of build to put into your arsenal. And we'll see what Data feels about that game. I mean, I think he made the right choice of trying to counter all in, because he was so far behind in a lot of stuff. And sometimes you can just get lucky if you go for banelings. But it did surprise me. I thought he might just go straight back into droning up. But if your opponent's got all this tech out, it can be pretty tough to try and take a hatch when you know your opponent's got a ton of units out on the map. 14 pool versus 15 pool gas. This map, a little bit more difficult to play gasless. It takes longer for you to move the creep over and wall off the front. Still a map that I, once again, don't have a lot of experience in ZVZ on. And he's going to be going. Checks to see if there's an overlord there and to see what's going on. That's not the case. I'll be throwing down the hatch. Now the interesting thing out of Ohne is we've seen a couple of his games where it started like this, where he hasn't thrown down the hatch. He's preferred to save up his larva, his money, and go for something with a bit more aggression. And I disagree with this part of it. I would rather see another hatch down than worrying about getting out like a super fast queen and units, just because you fall so far behind without the production of another hatch. Very strange for me. Now I'm coming across, I'm Data, I see this, I see no hatch here. I would immediately be worried. But if we look at his vision, I would also feel pretty fine that I haven't seen anything rushing across the map yet. One base Roach Warren. Who does this? He will need a lot of Zerglings out or a spine, and he should be fine. He's got gas on the way here. I'm going to go to... Actually, we're going to stick with Data's vision here, because I want to see what he thinks once he sees one base Roaches come out. He might be able to snipe that Overlord as well, which would be really bad. You eat up a ton of supply really fast if you don't... if you don't have yourself a lot of Overlords out. Roaches just... You get surprised how quickly it eats up all of your supply. Still hasn't seen anything come down on his side there. He's 7 Roaches on the way. He's got a bunch of Lings out and a Spine started. Speed is on the way. And he's got another Queen coming as well. Spine's in a good position. 7 Roaches is pretty heavy, but I don't know if it's going to be able to break this. If he can get us around on those Lings in range of the Spine, I think he'll be alright. Now, the problem is he started all of these Lings really early, as opposed to making drones. What would be nice to have those drones out now. There's the Roaches. Alright. We're going to go back to everybody now. Roaches are on the way. He hasn't started another Spines, interestingly enough. Just more Zerglings. Speed will be finished here in a second. And behind this, now he's expanding. This Overlord, I don't know what it's doing. If he loses this, that'd be very unfortunate. Alright, so there's a lot of Zerglings, 1 Queen, and a Spine. I would go behind the mineral line and start sniping at the hatch. Don't go back, get some damage in with those. You need to kill something. More Zerglings are on the way. We'll see if He's just going to go for a counterattack here. Lots of speedlings happening now. So this was a huge investment that hasn't gotten anything done. So the roaches are home. They'll be able to defend well enough. These Zerglings are going around for maybe a sneak. Roach weren't started, but these Zerglings, like, go do something with them. This is like a pet peeve of mine. Like, if you've got all of these attacking units, go and attack with them. You would beat these roaches with the amount of lings he has. How many lings has he got? 34 to 7 roaches? Go crush face. Or at least pressure him into not making more drones and drone up behind this. Units wise, it's equal workers, and I think that the Orange Zerg players should be so far ahead right now. That's just my thoughts at this stage. These Zerglings do him no good. That is 17 more drones he could have right now, if he didn't keep making those. And he's forced out 2 spines. Like, if you go out there and attack, even if you just get deflected and pushed back, you're going to see that Ohne is going to be over here making more roaches as opposed to making more workers. And that's the big trick right now, is how do you get them to do more of one than the other. I would like to see the creep spread a little bit now. A tumor from each queen, particularly, or get out more queens. I think he's got, yeah, 2 more coming. So you can start planning on your 3rd base. We need to hit them injects. And it's interesting, the green Zerg player is getting further ahead. Lair on the way, I would love, just love, drone up like a madman for 2 minutes. Get your Spire down, your other gases, and go for mutas. I see all of his gases taken out. I think that's what he wants to do. I mean, you're defended well enough right now. You have all these Zerglings. I would also go take the watchtowers with these Zerglings. They're faster. Put the pressure on of letting your opponent not have vision of what's happening. That's my thoughts. Looks like he's going to take a 3rd base, actually, pretty aggressively. Spores going down. We know that from watching a lot of Ohne's game that he does like these single spores. It's a bit of a risk. I like doing a single spore once in a while just because I don't know what's going on. But he has an Overlord in position. Just run it in there. Risk 1 to see what's going on. It's very worth it. All the gases are taken now. 1-1 on the way. Units wise, we see our orange. Oh, we actually went for Hydras with this. I would have loved to see somebody change it up. Go 2-base Broodlord, just to screw with them. Maps like this, you can get Broodlords in over here, and if they don't have a Spire, there's no way to kill them. There's no way. You just bounce around here. There's absolutely no way to kill the Broodlords. So you can come over here, make a couple. You can come in, hit some shots, back away. That's so hard to kill Broodlords in ZVZ unless you're on Spire as well. On maps like this in particular. But that's just me and my weirdness. That's something I would think of as just a crazy person. You're a crazy person. Very delayed 3rd on this side. Creep has moved over to here. We haven't seen any roaches come out at all from data yet, which is, well, he's got a few actually. I was going to say, I like the fact that he's not overcommitting to units right now, and he's just going to build up a big economy and all the upgrades he needs. He's not ahead by that many workers. In the lower leagues, something a lot of people do is they forget of the fact that they don't have any workers. I mean, you look at your base, like, look, that's pretty well saturated. That's pretty well saturated. But there's nothing here. Like, this should be another 20 workers at this base. He actually got a... Did he get a cancel on that? I think he got a full kill on that. Very well done from Data. Denying that 3rd base, very, very important. And look at the orange dots on the map. Look at the vision of Data. It's fantastic. He's got, you know, he's supply blocked right now. He's making 4 more. But just being able to see where everything is, so valuable. Making more work units again. If you've got this kind of vision, don't worry about getting out more units. Worry about getting out your, there's your economy, 16 more drones. Worry about getting ahead. Building more units doesn't get you ahead, in case anybody was wondering. So there's going to be a pretty big advantage here with all these drones popped. He's up by over 10 workers right now. On a 3rd base worth of economy and production. I don't like doing this, by the way. Don't leave a bunch of overlords out in the map in a group like this, because if your opponent does go for mutas, you will lose everything. Speed is finished, though. That helps. Alright. So, gases are being taken over here. 2-2 finishing up along with Hydra Speed. More workers. I like that so much. Very, very nice. Zerglings going around to scout. This is another game just like the first where Data is just going to crush over his opponent. I'm quite certain of it. So you see right now, Ohne can't just produce enough. Like, he just doesn't have the production. He doesn't have the economy to really start maxing out units. And he's going to start falling really far behind in supply over the next little bit. Spine Crawler, not that important right now. More important to get out more units. A lot of supply of Data is in these Zerglings, and these aren't that useful. I would love to see a two-prong attack. Send the Zerglings over here while you come into the front with the Roaches and the Hydras and make some pressure. Force him to split up his army. Zerglings will crush through a lot of stuff really quickly. Oh no, the Hydras. That's such a big mistake. That's so expensive. Yeah, he's gonna kill a couple of queens and stuff up here, but that wasn't worth it. That was a very expensive attack, and that might actually give Ohne a bit of a window to recover a bit here. He still needs more workers. Still down by quite a bit. I like the creep spread here is pretty nice as well. Can't get over that Overlord spread though. That's so nice. Once again, is this... No, he doesn't have the Watchtower. Once again, he's got some army out on the map. Taking the Watchtower would be very nice. So now he sees the army moving out. Big pile of Hydras and Roaches. He can afford it, right? He's had this economy for so much longer. And a really fast next base. Losing these Overlords would be really sucky. He's got to build more. He's got queens for transfuses down here. Let's see if he uses them. It's very hard to micro well enough to do that. But these queens and the transfuses are so valuable. But it looks like it's not going to matter. Data's production is just too good. Hydras in the back, just crushing. And it was upgrade advantage as well for our orange Zerg player. Killed a couple of Overseers. That's a nice little snipe. Roaches, getting a little ahead of the Hydras there. A little bit beat up. Nah, I still think this is going to be enough for Data to just take this game. There is the defender's advantage, but these are slow Hydras getting into the game. And they're here without Roaches to protect them. So they'll get mushed. Hold position. Oh, he's actually just going to attack down the hatch. Drones pulled. They're just going to get rolled. And that's pretty much going to be GG. Hive is on the way. Pathogen glands. He's got 4 bases worth of production. There's not mining there yet, but he's got all those hatches to produce from. These spines will buy a little bit of time here, but this wall is even working against Ohne right now to get his army into the right position. There's the GG. Interesting game. Once again, we saw Ohne open up with a cheese, but I don't think he used it right. He had those 7 Roaches. If he had put them behind the mineral line, sniped a couple drones, denied that hatch while expanding himself, it would have been a risk because if those Zerglings ran across the map, he might have just lost. But he might have been able to snipe that hatch, take great trades against the Zerglings, and his opponent would not have been able to upgrade. So he was behind from the start because he couldn't get any damage in. And then after that, you know, the first guy that went over 50 drones probably would have won that game. They were both sitting in such a low economy and nobody was attacking each other. I think if they went for it and just went macro, huge macro, liquid ret style, huge macro, I think it would have been enough to take that game. Now, Ohne selected this map. So let's see if he's got a strategy for this. What would I do here? Now, if you know you're playing against somebody in a low enough league, a proxy hatch sometimes works. So tough to pull off, though. Alright, Akalong Wastes. long rush distance, big opening ramp though, and big movement distance between your main base and your natural. I bring that up a lot because if you play like a really fast Zergling, always 6 pooling. Down here in the bottom right with a 6 pool, which I have won with on this map, is Ohne. Playing normal and winning any game that goes over 10 minutes, it's data. Here in the top left. Now, I don't disagree with Ohne doing this. He knows, well, he doesn't know. He has seen in 2 games that he hasn't been able to win late game ZVZs. He hasn't been able to macro well enough to compete. So, it doesn't surprise me. Let's look at that logo for a second. What the hell is that? Paradox. Not bad. I like that a bit, actually. We have seen Data just be able to handle himself so well. I like going up to about 7 drones, personally. I go with 7 drones, and then go for a 7 drone, 6 Zergling pull. And then you do an extractor cancel on 1 drone to get 2 more Zerglings, and you go all in, all in, all in. You have to pull the drones this day and age in ZVZ with a 6 pool, I believe. I don't think you have an option, particularly with how long of a rush distance this is. He's going with 1. I wonder if that's for a spine crawler rush. It could be. The spine crawler rush is actually really interesting. And because the vision of a base doesn't cover the edge, sometimes you can just sneak it in there. Just saying. The Zerglings are on the way. There's the drones. He pulled all the minerals off. Very smart. Drop your minerals before you leave. He is going to put a hatch down over here. Very interesting. Sneak it down, buddy. You got just enough minerals. There it is. Vision of Data. He sees the red in his base. It's there. Pull, pull, pull. Now, the pool isn't finished yet. He's only lost a drone or 2. 6 of the Zerglings are on the way. He's got to get damage in now. Ohne's down by a ton of supply. He's got to kill something now before those lings come out. That's why playing nice position right where the Zerglings are. This is really smart. Good hold from Data. He should have this no problem. Good win. GG. Well played. That is the tournament, ladies and gentlemen.